up, everybody, and Serena, and also Haley? Question mark? Oh my God! I'm sure you can see by now if you're on video. If not, you can hear her. We have a guest today. Her name is Haley.
Yes.
This is so incredibly exciting for all of us. We're going to get to know her a lot through this episode. So
I feel like we've been internet friends for like a while
Yes.
now, and it's fun to like be seeing you and talking to you in kind of person.
I found Haley on TikTok and I said, that is a girl that I want to follow and be friends with forever. Yeah. So I did.
I love that so much.
Yeah, so fun. So obviously she's a huge Swiftie. But let's just jump right into it. Haley, I've been wondering, what song have you been listening to? What is your fixation right now?
See, that's really hard. I feel like it's hard because I feel like you guys are in the same like space as me of like with like an album freshly released where like you listen to all of them and then you like kind of gravitate towards a song, but I'm in that phase now where just like random lyrics are popping into my mind, and so it's not any like certain song, but I have to like go to that song and listen to that 15-second stretch like over and over again. So I have like a couple of those, but like right now it's So Long London when she says I'm just getting the color back into my face. I'm just mad as hell because I love this
place.
Yeah. Like I was on my back porch like just listening to Taylor Swift just to get into the mindset, and that was mostly what I listened to. So it's that one and How Did It End when she says I was a hot house flower, or he's a hot house flower to my outdoorsman. Like those are like two that I just like keep bouncing back and forth.
Those are fantastic choices.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's
completely devastating and sad, but love it.
The way she sings those lines in So Long London too, like the way she's like trying to keep up with her own breath in that song.
It's one of my favorite ways that she says like any lyric, I guess rather sings because she's singing the song. But it's like it feels like she's angry in the beginning, and by the time she gets to like I love this place, she's sad, and I'm just tired. And tired. So good. Yeah, those are my two at the moment.
My best friend just saw her in Paris, and that's one of his favorite songs, and he just was like so hopeful, and I'm like, babe, that is going to London. Like, I'm really sorry, but you are not hearing that.
I was so hopeful she put it on the set list because I can almost see her doing like a My Tears Ricochet similar performance for that. I wanted that so
bad. I know. The day, I'm sure that'll get played the first night in London, and everyone will be crying.
We're also
or maybe she won't play it. Like Cornelia Street when she went to
true.
True. She didn't play Cornelia Street. I don't know. I'm going to London shows, so I would appreciate it.
She's going to play So Long London the first night after the London shows.
So long. Or maybe on the last night, and the first night she'll play London Boy.
Great, because I'm going to the second to last show in London and potentially the last show too. So
hopefully,
we'll see. You'll have to let us know.
I will.
Yeah, I'll be sitting on that live stream. Don't you?
It'll be all over the internet.
On Tessa's live stream.
Literally.
Yes. Wait, what about y'all? What are your hyperfixation songs right now?
Oh my gosh, what are you listening to, Serena?
I can't stop listening to Guilty as Sin. I don't know what it is about that song.
There are drugs in that song.
There are narcotics.
What if he has written Mine on my upper thigh? Like what if he has? What a way to die.
The production, the lyrics, the delivery, it's a supermodel of a song. And that's just the only way I can describe it.
I know.
So when she says falling back into the hedge maze, I can't help but do the Harry Styles.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Same.
That's the only way to listen to it.
Yes. I'm so glad that you understand. This is girlhood right here. Is that exact feeling. Because the Harry Styles dance moves is the perfect.
Harry Styles can dance to every Taylor Swift song, and everyone's like, that's it. It's so funny.
I also love the beginning of that when she says, what is it? I dream of Kraken locks, throwing my life to the wolves or the ocean rocks, like is happy as hell. Like I just love when she's just so joyfully going into like her deepest, darkest thoughts.
I know.
God. Beautiful.
And you're like, your deepest, darkest thoughts are also my deepest, darkest thoughts?
Yeah.
We are one and the same.
I'd love to throw myself to the ocean rocks.
Soul sisters.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Wait, Emily, I interrupted you. What's yours?
I have been fixated. So this is a scientifically proven fact. I am the expert. When you listen to My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, it gets better with every listen.
Okay.
I loved that song. That was one of my first listen favorites.
Yes. It's so strange because I if you said, give me your top 10 on the album or whatever, I would probably just like throw out some songs, but I wouldn't throw out that song. But every time I listen to it, I'm like, wait, this is my
this one.
song.
Yeah.
This is so good.
I agree with you, because if like somebody said to me, like, said to rank them, it would probably be like bottom 3 for me, not gonna lie.
Dang.
But when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I like this song. What am I saying? And I think that just speaks to the album. Is that there's no
I think it's the
low points.
Those little like O's.
Yeah.
My
boy.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
insane. It's insane.
So good.
Oh my God.
That's how I feel about this album, is every time I listen to it, I'm like, okay, no, I like this more and more every day.
I know. And like you said, we're still in that phase of like having a new album. It's been a month, but it doesn't feel like it's been a month. It feels like it's been 2 days.
Yeah, especially because like as Chats and React says, there's so much to fathom. Like there's just so much to think about, especially having 31 songs. Like
I still feel like I haven't even really listened to the second half of the album that much yet.
Yeah, like, I think there's a couple on there that I just kind of totally disregarded, and like at some point they will come to me and we will soul match, but like
but we're just not there yet.
Yeah. That happened to me with Evermore, actually. I didn't listen to Ivy until like probably a solid 8 months after the album had come out.
Yeah.
That one came out at a hard time. Like in the middle of like seasonal depression in 2020, as she's singing about like maybe the saddest feeling she's ever had at that point in time. So that was a hard one for me.
No, I completely get that. I did not like Evermore the first time I heard it. I was like, I simply can't do this right now. I'm not.
It's like
it was a lot.
Too heavy sometimes.
Very heavy. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Yeah. Before we get started into anything else, I want to know more about you. Tell us what you do on a daily basis. What does your life look like? Tell us about, she has a podcast. I'd love to hear about that. Introduce yourself to everybody.
I was about to say my life looks a lot like this because I do have a podcast. That is what my job is. I have a podcast about Gilmore Girls, and my bio on my Instagram is actually one of the reviews that I have for my Gilmore Girls podcast, which is that I talk about Taylor Swift too much. That's like one of like the most like negative feedback things I get on the podcast is that I bring up Taylor Swift lyrics too much. I reference her.
In the right place.
I know. That's why like I went
funny.
full unhinged today. Like I have all of my Taylor Swift jewelry on. I've got friendship bracelets. I've got like my little shrine that I made with my little Taylor Swift Our Song doll that I got in 2008. Like I went like full. I have Taylor Swift. Which way is it? Sitting behind me.
Oh my God, the eye.
There she is.
I love that. Don't what is it? Don't dull your sparkle.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like I like let it. I like dull it a little bit on the podcast because it's not topical. I let it slip out every now and then. Yeah. But like I almost put on my cardigan, but as we talked about before, it's fucking hot in here. So
hot.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't manage it. But yeah, so I am like a full-blown Swiftie. But I do have a podcast called Gilmore To Say where I talk about Gilmore Girls, which actually came from TikTok because I was posting exclusively Gilmore Girls TikToks on my account called Gilmore Girly Girl. But I will say before I did that, I was actually had like a like general account, I guess, that was my own, where I was posting Taylor Swift TikToks long before I posted Gilmore Girls TikToks. Like back when it was the Woodvale era, when I was such a Woodvale truther.
No, you weren't. Oh no.
I swear on my life, it's the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me. To be like, I was convinced, like every video that I watched, I was like, yes. And I was like on there talking, like I probably had made like 30 Taylor Swift TikToks at that point. But when Woodvale did not manifest, is not real, I deleted all of them. Every single one, even the ones that didn't have anything to do with Woodvale. I was like, I can never show my face again on the internet or ever.
Humbled.
Actually.
Dang.
Yeah. And then now anytime anyone has a theory, I'm like, you're wrong. Do not. Like when everyone was like, this is like a double album, even for Midnights when they were like, she's going to release more songs. I was like, she will not. She said what she said and there's nothing else.
It's over.
Yeah. So like, I'm like shocked every time she does. And everyone was like, no, of course she was going to release 2. I'm like, no. And everyone's like anticipating like the third one. Like there's like all these theories about the third anthology. I'm like,
I haven't even heard that. No, thank you.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's kind of funny because I've actually pretty much almost completely removed myself from Taylor TikTok because
I don't really go on TikTok, which is funny because like that's where all this started for me. I don't get on TikTok anymore.
because it could be an exhausting place.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, the whole Woodvale thing, I feel like that's when like quote unquote Swift talk was just becoming a thing.
It was still really small. Like I
It
remember
was so small.
What's her name? Is it Catherine? Who is like she's teenager, has like a really big account. She had like 8,000 followers at this time.
Oh,
like
wow.
her account was still really small. Like it was still when it was just like a few people. And that was when I started to like get to like when I started following everyone, and then I pulled back real hard. And then I went to Gilmore Girls. And then I like slowly started to make more Taylor Swift TikToks and like started meeting people like you and Irene and just like I don't even remember like how I got connected. It was just like I probably saw a TikTok, follow, like, comment,
literally
hype girl. Now we're friends.
Yeah, back in the day,
that's how it works.
Yeah, I was like following anyone who made any sort of like Taylor content, and then when I got followed back, I was like, oh my god,
this is so fun. We're BFFs now.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I tend to think I'm friends with everyone that follows me back, but that's not the case.
That is not the case, as you find out, because then they'll very quickly unfollow you.
But and Swifties can be scary.
Swifties can be scary. Yeah,
I think changed so much.
Yeah.
That is why I kind of stopped making Swift talk TikToks, despite the fact like when I would post it, it would do pretty well. But like I just couldn't deal with the like posting your preferences and then everyone coming back with like, this is the worst take I've ever seen. I'm like, this is my take. Like, go take your take somewhere else. But like, just gets
and
really intense.
You can even respectfully disagree with me.
Yeah,
but
I do that all the time. Yeah,
it's like it gets crazy.
It does get crazy. And the thing I always have to remember is like, these are probably 17-year-olds. Like I always like go to their account, look and see like probably says like high school class of like 32. Like so I'm like cool. I'm like out of this age range. This is nice. You're just being a little mean because that's your disposition right now.
Yeah, exactly. I love to bully back though. I love to just like give the energy back. I just do not care anymore.
My favorite activity is commenting back on people's negative comments on Emily's videos. I love in her comment section and fight with people.
Yeah, that's good. That's real friendship.
Yeah,
so fun.
It is funny when I'll like start getting hate comments and then I see all my friends like flooding to my comments. It's like, shut the fuck up! You don't know anything. You're a little imbecile bitch. Emojis. I'm like, okay, go off.
All right, I'm never that violent.
No.
I like to send like a nice like, is everything okay?
Yeah. How are you doing?
How's life at home?
Like, is your home life fine? Everything okay back at the house?
It's so funny.
Yeah. My favorite one was somebody. It was over the way you hold your pen, and I was like, I commented was like, have you ever thought of holding your pen correctly? And I was like, have you ever thought about keeping your opinions to yourself?
Like, I hold my pen weird. Like, okay, it's not
That's
weird.
So Taylor,
it's
though.
just my way. It's unique. I can't even explain it. I hold it in like such a strange.
No, that's so Taylor Swift though. She holds her pen so strange.
She does exactly.
Like,
I mean, she
also does it. Why can't we?
Exactly. 100%. But like that's like when a video starts going viral, quote unquote, I know that it's going viral because I get those comments of people being like, "What's wrong with your hand? What's wrong with your fucking eyes? Go back to school." I can't stand it. It's so ridiculous.
Or I also like kind of love though, like when it has gone viral and people do start hating it because it's like, okay, keep going. This is literally you were running my engagement right now. I love it. Yeah. So y'all asked me about myself, and I feel like that's it. Like that's Swiftie, Gilmore Girls. That's about it.
How did you?
Oh,
go ahead.
You go.
So you said you got started on TikTok posting like Gilmore Girls content and things like that, but I'm curious to know, how did the podcast start? Like, how did you meet Tara, your co-host? How did you have that conversation? Walk us through like setting that up. What was the process?
It's so simple because we actually met on TikTok. We were like being tagged in each other's content because she was also making Gilmore Girls content at the time. And she made a TikTok that was about her working on Broadway. And that's what I was doing before the pandemic because I was an associate producer on Broadway and we worked within like 10 blocks of each other.
That's crazy.
And so I just like messaged her and I was like, hey, I also used to work on Broadway. And then we just kind of like became like internet friends like this. And she was posting Gilmore Girls content. I was posting Gilmore Girls content. And she just messaged me one day, I think July 2021, and was like, are we missing an opportunity by not starting a podcast? And it's like just so indicative of how like Tara and I are always on the same page. Because that very same day, I was going to message her that exact same thing.
That's crazy.
And then we started a podcast in I want to say September of 2021, and it was horrible. Literally the worst thing you've ever heard. We actually posted on our Patreon, and it is the most cringy thing you've ever listened to in your life, because like half of it was scripted, which like I cannot read from a script to save my life. And it just sounded like Tara was a JCPenney's ad, and I was like Wednesday Addams trying to make a podcast. It was horrible. Like
I love
terrible.
that,
Was it under the same name, or was it like something completely
different? It
different?
was called Written in the Stars, because that is the episode name. Season 5, episode 3 is called Written in the Stars, and it's kind of like fatefully that we came together, that we were written in the stars to do it. And it felt like we would talk a lot about writing on Gilmore Girls, like the like storytelling and the narrative, because we don't go episode by episode. We kind of just talk about the show as a whole and themes and characters and stuff like that. So it felt like thematic to the show, but it just was wrong. And it's like because like it would like have to be explained, like Written in the Stars. What is that about? It's a Gilmore Girls podcast. But like when Gilmore To Say came about, because we kind of ghosted each other just a little bit after that, because we were both like, that sucked. That was bad. Like I edited it, and I was like, how is this? And like she felt the same way. We're too early in our friendship to
say that,
figure out how to say that. So I came back like I think like a month later with like a new title, like a new direction. Did she still want to do this? And she was like, great, love it, let's start. And then that January we posted our first episode, and just kind of took off from there. Just
so you haven't even been doing it for that long. It's only been a few years.
Yeah, so we're in our 3rd season now. And
oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it started off as like a unemployment side hustle that turned into a job, which
felt that. It's great. That was relatable. Is this something like do you guys like love doing it? Is this something you want to continue to do for a while?
Yeah, that's the thing, is like we both have like other projects that we're working on, but we just love podcasting. Like we had no idea that this was something we were gonna like fall in love with. And it's kind of one of those things of like everyone in our life is like, how long can you guys talk about Gilmore Girls for? And we're like, actually forever. Thank you for asking. Because we have like all of our episodes planned for this year and like half of next year. Wow. Like we could truly talk about this forever. So it's like we're gonna keep doing it until people like want to hear it. But we have like other ideas and other projects, but we're also doing things separately too, because we just are both very creative people, and as the two of you are as well. And it's just like once you like get there, it's hard to like reconcile with like, oh, maybe I would like go back to like an office job or something like that. So like we've kind of found that this works for us. And like we were talking like before this, that we kind of want to help other women figure that out too, like with podcasting and like media, because we started from like Googling how to do this. And so we want to hopefully like find a way to like help other people not have to Google it and like maybe have a jump start ahead of where we were.
That's
like
awesome.
A resource for it.
Yeah.
I remember, so before this podcast, I had a podcast with my best friend. And that literally was google.com was how I figured out how to do that. And
love google.com. Love Reddit too.
Yeah, Reddit two of those.
Yeah, the two of those really have guided us.
And you know, here we are.
Yeah, that's a great like transition too, to you like realize that you love something, and then like it's now a job, but like, oh, I can like continue to expand this and not just like making a podcast way, but like helping other people.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool. And you have been so helpful to even just us with like little questions. Like,
yeah, I feel like I've been like assaulting you though. Like I'm like, do you need help? What's going on?
No, we love it. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, very deeply. Because I mean, you're the only other person I really know. Like
I know. And that's the other thing is like we don't know a lot of people doing podcasts. And so like whenever I find someone, I'm like, hey, what are you doing?
Like actually it's like so easy if you just, you know, do these things and have these resources, and like you can do it too, kind of thing.
And it feels like mean sometimes, because I'm like, I see things, I'm like, ooh, you could be doing this too. And I like want to like shove it at you, but I'm like, okay, bring it back.
Good. That's like perfect for your consulting business.
Exactly. Then you're giving people advice when they're asking for it. Perfect.
I know. And that's the thing, is like I want them to come to me. I want them to want it rather than me like to shove it at them unwelcome, unsolicited advice.
But listen, if a woman wants to shove advice at me, I'll take it. But if it's a man, I'm not gonna. So I think 2 women doing it, perfect.
Yes. Your advice is always welcome here.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. But yeah, so that's kind of like where the podcast came about, where we got to with this. And it's fun. And like that's what I was telling you before. Like I love taking fun things seriously. Like I think that like more girlhood things should be taken seriously like this. And that's what I love to do. And that's what I want to do more of.
Yes.
With my Taylor Swift doll in the background.
Yes.
I love it.
Queen.
So fun.
Speaking of Taylor Swift, what's your like origin here? How did you find Taylor Swift? Why do you like her?
Why do I like her? I think it's like at this point, like my mom was like, I think you're in a cult. And I was like, I am. For sure.
Absolutely. Never beating those cult allegations.
Yeah,
Never.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
in no way am I not in a cult. But like, so let's start.
But I love it here.
But I love it here. But this was like, I guess it was freshman year of high school is when I found her, like in her debut era. There were these two girls in my literature class, Allie and Shannon, who were listening to a song called Stay Beautiful. And I overheard them talking about it. And they're like, oh, you really should listen to it. And I was like, great. And I went home and looked it up and it was the wrong song. Because there was another song at the time called Stay Beautiful by the band The Last Good Night. Do y'all remember them? They sang that song, Pictures of You.
Okay, I know that song.
Pictures of you. Pictures. That was the one I looked up. And they have a song called Stay Beautiful. And I was like, oh, this is a good song. I wouldn't like stand this song the way they are. But so I went back to class and I was like, I listened to the song. It's good. And we started talking about it. And I was like, that is not what that song sounded like. And they were like, oh, it's by Taylor Swift. And I was like, who is that? And so I asked for Debut, which is right here. I have the original version with homophobic picture to burn on it.
Wow. That is a relic. Yes.
Yeah.
That is.
Which I actually was using it for a TikTok like 2 years ago. And it has been like pristine since I got it for my 15th birthday and it broke.
Oh.
Yeah. No. So like devastating little aside there, which I guess I removed that to reveal Fearless.
Just
which is I actually could if you like.
That's so funny.
I guess the video girlies will get that, and if you're on audio, you'll just have to stay in the dark on what just happened.
Sorry,
but I heard that and they like played it for me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this! I have to get it. So my parents gave it to me for my 15th birthday, which is like an Easter egg because the next album had a song called 15 on it. Yeah. So like it was already there, and I don't remember. I don't remember much of like my obsession at the time, like with the early ones, because my first concert was actually not a Taylor Swift concert. It was a Keith Urban concert. And she was opening for him. Yeah. Which was super fun. And
I also saw that concert.
Did you? Oh, it was so good. And I don't remember much of like her set. I really remember the Keith Urban set. But I remember like it was like 2 minutes until the show was going to start. And I looked and I saw Andrea. She was at the sound booth. And I looked at my sister. I was like, that's Taylor Swift's mom. And it was because I was like on Tumblr and MySpace and all that at the time. So I knew who she was. And she was like, should we go talk to her? And we like hemmed and hawed about it enough that like the lights were going down. And we went and like there was 2 other people talking to her. And like it wasn't that she was rude, but she was so motherly. She was like, I would love to take a picture with y'all, but you need to go back to your seat because you're gonna miss Taylor. And like it wasn't in any way that was like mean. It was just like, I'm so excited to meet y'all, but you did not come here to meet me. You came here to see.
Yeah.
And so we were like, so fair, Andrea. So we have like this like little picture of like us when we were like 16. I think my sister was 19 with baby Andrea. So like that was like super fun. But then after that, I think that Speak Now kind of became my personality when that happened. Because that was like 2010. It was just like, you know, feeling every single feeling I've ever felt via that album. And then I think I kind of fell off until 1989. I've never been a Red girly. I do have it, but I've just never...
Break my heart, why don't you?
I missed it. Like it's just something about it. Like I missed that one because I think that I was like just friends with the wrong people in college at the time. And it just never hit for me. But I think that 1989 should come out everyone's senior year of college because when that one came out, like I was driving so fast I got like a ticket.
Oh my God.
I had to pay. Like
I
got
a ticket. Listening to that album too. Yes.
Like when what was it?
I
was it Blank Space or no? Shake It Off. It was Shake It Off.
I was a freshman in college when 1989 came out, and I had come home for the weekend. And my mom, when I got home, she like had the album for me. Like she had went to Target and got it for me.
Oh, yes, you have to have the. This is the Target edition.
Yes, exactly. Such a love language. And when I was driving back to school, I got pulled over listening to the album.
Yeah, there's just something about that one. That one had like illegal drugs in it, and that's why I got pulled over.
It's the perfect driving music.
Yeah.
This sound
the
is
best songs to drive to.
No, but when he pulled me over, he was like, "Do you know I'm pulling over?" And I said Taylor Swift, and he was like, "No, you failed to come to a complete stop at that stop sign." I was like, "Great. I will pay $150 for this."
Yes.
Oh my goodness, so worth it.
I know. And then I guess the next one was Reputation, and I didn't like go into like Taylor hating mode, but I went into Taylor loving hiding mode. Like I, in the same way that she went into hiding, I also did, because like it was like not cool to like Taylor Swift during that time, but I like kept her. I kept her there. And then when Reputation came out, it was like when I had my first office job, and the Look What You Made Me Do music video dropped, and we all stood around someone's computer, and everyone was like, "This is not good." And I was like, listen to it in my headphones for the rest of the day. Went to like the rep tour. Like I was like, sorry, you guys, but my mom is back.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah, like bye everyone.
But
yeah, and I think that one like surged me back into my Taylor Swift fandom. Yeah, because it's not that I didn't like her during that time, but I kind of like pulled back on it.
No, I totally did too. I fell off after 1989, and I think it's because Reputation came out the year I graduated college, and I, again, first office job, it was like I was almost so embarrassed of like who I was. I'm like, I'm an adult now, like I'm stripping away everything I used to love.
Exactly.
It was, like, a version of myself, and it had nothing to do with like Taylor Swift and what was going on. It was just very much of like, I kind of hated myself, so I was like trying to change.
Exactly.
And I always like, I eventually came back around to Reputation. I was also mad at Taylor because she didn't have her music on Spotify. And I was like, I'm paying. My money is precious. I'm not, if I can't listen to you on Spotify, I'm not listening to you. Like, it was just one of those.
I think that was like, I remember looking like, because you can like look back at your like past Spotify Wrapped, and like I'm pretty sure I like stopped listening on Spotify because Taylor wasn't there. Like, what was the point? Like, if she went off of Spotify now, I'm like, maybe
that's why.
No, so true.
That is exactly why I got Apple Music to start with. Like, I used Apple Music until this year.
Oh wow! You had them for a long time.
Switched over because I was sick and tired of seeing everybody else's Wrapped.
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
I know. Your first Wrapped this year.
I can't wait.
Baby's first Wrapped.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be
worth it.
It's gonna be my whole personality. Is that Wrapped?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about it for nonstop.
Wow, that's like such a big deal because like my last two Wrapped have, of course, like all been Taylor Swift. Yeah, but just like wow, that's like it's gonna be so big for you.
Perfect timing for a new album. Like, thank you.
I know.
Oh God. Yeah.
And I bet like Rep will come out at some point this year, right?
Oh God.
So I'm thinking September. That's
that's the rumor. Rep September and then debut December.
That's. I don't know if debut will come out in December, but I think it'll get announced in December.
I think it's very likely, though. I love the rumor that's like Rep will come out September 13th. I forget the exact date, but it's like the exact day that the Kanye VMAs happened.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and it's I think it's 13 years to the date, and then 13 weeks later is December 13th.
She makes time.
Exactly. She literally invented that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when debut would come out. That's like, and they're both Fridays. Like, that's the theory. I think it's too perfect.
Honestly, if she doesn't do that, I'm going to be a little mad at her. Because it's too perfect.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I won't believe it for a second.
I know you were burned. You were burned from the past.
Yeah. I'm like, if that happens, great. Because I love those two albums. Those are like in my top 5. Both of
I'm really excited for both of them, especially Rep. I love Reputation. It's one of my favorite albums. So
me too. In top 3, hands down. Love it. Agreed. So excited for those vault tracks, especially after Tortured Poet. Like, what? That is a love album, my girl. I know. Come back for.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy. I'm scared.
Yeah, especially because she has come out and said that they are fire.
Yeah, she did say they were fire. That's true.
I'm like, all right, Queen.
That was her Time article, right?
Yeah.
She did say that about 1989 vault tracks too. She like this is her favorite that she's released thus far. And when I listened to them for the first time, I was like, I don't like them. Like I'm not into it.
I had the same experience, but they grew on me viciously.
They grew on me so hard to the point where they're like my favorite now. Like I bet Suburban Legends is going to be my top song this year.
Yes!
Just because that's my other like hyperfixation at the moment, because I listened to that like 2 weeks straight on repeat before Tortured Poet came out, which was like bad because then when Torture Poet came out, all I wanted to listen to was Suburban Legends because that was just like stuck in my head.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah. But that was my least favorite when it came out.
See, that's what everyone has said, and nobody gave it the chance. And I have been a huge advocate for Suburban Legends since the beginning.
And You Kiss Me in a Way That's Gonna Screw Me Up Forever.
Who does that? Who writes that?
That's crazy.
Come on.
That's crazy lyricism.
Yeah. I broke my own heart because you were too polite to do it. Like, I love it.
They are lethal. I think the issue with it was like, I don't know, 1989 is so poppy and so like pop Bible, as we say. And when those came out, it didn't have the same sound as the rest of the album.
Which I was like, this makes sense. So they got cut.
Yeah.
Like it was like these were the cut songs. And I'm like, I see it. Because it just felt like a Jack Antonoff spinoff.
Yes,
like it just
100%.
If
Jack Antonoff produced 1989, this is what it would sound like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's why I wonder, like, I would love to know and ask her, like, when you cut songs, are they still like, were these the ones that you wrote and maybe like didn't have a demo for? Like, did you have a demo for it? Did you know how it was going to sound? Like, I want to know, was it almost like fully complete?
Or did you just have like lyrics?
Or did you give it to Jack and you were like, do what you will with this?
Yeah, mix it up, my dude. Yeah. There was whoever, I forget her name, but the girl who co-wrote on, I guess the woman rather, who co-wrote on Say Don't Go. Is that the name of it? Now I'm downing myself. She said that she always wondered what happened to that song because they had finished it. And it was like on New Year's Day or something that they wrote that. And she was like, she'd never seen anyone work as hard as Taylor because like most artists would want to take the time off. But she was like, no, I'm inspired. Let's do it. Yeah. And she always wondered what had happened to that song. So I don't know. I don't remember if she said like what the state the song was in, but I think that there was some sort of finished product to it that she always wondered. And I think that a lot of people were like, are these really vault songs? Are you just like rewriting in the style of the album? And that one was like, no, okay. She is pulling real.
These are definitely,
songs. Yeah.
Do you know who that was? Who co-wrote? Was it Liz?
I don't know.
Because I feel like she stopped working
I didn't know there
Liz
was a co-writer.
after Red.
I forget what her name was, but I had never heard of her before this.
Interesting.
So, but that was when I was like, okay, these are real songs. These are real vault songs.
Yeah. I mean, I did you either of you ever have any doubts that they were like?
No, I didn't. I know that a lot.
I
of people,
didn't either.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, a lot of people with All Too Well, they were like, did you get the song and then like you enhanced it? So.
I mean, I do think that like with All Too Well 10, like it definitely, like if you cut out some of the production, it's not really a 10-minute song. And like, I think maybe when she said it was a 10-minute song, she may have been over exaggerating a little bit, but it is still a 10-minute song.
It was also like the way she said that she wrote it was like she was literally just at band practice one day and she just kept strumming and singing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a fully thing that she wrote down and then had to cut. Like I'm sure it was very like they really had to slice it up to make it the 3-minute whatever song that it was.
And that's because that was when she was writing with Liz Rose a lot. And she said all the time that like she never really did much writing. She would just hone Taylor in. She would like take what she wrote and pull out the best of it. And like really when you compare All Too Well and All Too Well 10, that's what it is. Like All Too Well is the best parts of All Too Well 10. I love All Too Well 10, but if you look at them critically, All Too Well is the better song. Like
period.
Just I don't even know the word. Technically, it's technically the better song. I love All Too Well 10 because I love her and I just want to hear everything she has to say.
Well,
But if you look at them from like a technical view lens,
it is the best lyrics.
Yes,
the like original one. Yeah,
absolutely. Would you say
that
I
love All Too Well 10? Obsessed,
of course.
Put
and
me
I know
you have to be. Yeah, you have to be. I mean, it's iconic. It's just like part of Swiftie history now. At this point.
It is 100%.
Exactly.
Would you say that 1989 is your favorite re-recording then? Like overall?
Ooh.
Oh,
that is a good question. Immediately I forgot of all of her other albums.
So then yes.
So yeah, of course. Yeah, I see. The thing is, though, I really loved the moment around the Red re-record. Like, I loved the community. I loved hearing like the girlies on the streets of New York City singing it to each other. Like, I loved the movie. Like, it just felt like. Also, that was like the best moment on Swift Talk. That's when like Swift Talk really took off, and because Taylor then engaged with like everything that was going on there. Like there was just something about that one that I think the moment of that I just don't think can be recreated because of like the hype around All Too Well 10, like the music video that became like a short film. There was just something about that like the coffee from Starbucks. It was just, it was the moment.
It was it was the last thing we had as a fandom before the Eras tour that like really made it feel like home until people invaded our house at the Eras tour.
Exactly. It felt like all of the locals were here, and then like everyone else kind of streamed into our town, and we were like,
oh, hey.
Hi. Like, I'm not going to make you leave because this is fun that we're all here. But there was like a little bit of like a gatekeepiness of like, we were having fun and now we can have more fun, but like side-eye just a little bit.
Of course.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like she put the most effort into that re-recording of like the release of that. Like that got the most promo. And I kind of wonder why. I think she loves Red. I think
She loves Red.
One of her favorite albums. I think she just will die on the hill that Red is the best, which I agree with her. I love Red. Red is like so nostalgic for me. I was a sophomore in high school. I had just gotten my license when that album came out. Like it was
that is so essential. It's like, what album were you listening to when you were a new driver? Like that is so.
It was Red.
Yeah, it was the first album I drove to pick up myself because it came out in October and I turned 17 in September. So it was like a month later. I had my license. I was driving to Target.
Yeah. See, mine was Speak Now, and so it's like it really transforms you. Yeah,
why you have that connection with it.
Yeah.
So
which, like, to be fair, I think Speak Now is one of my least favorites.
It's our least favorite.
Me too. Oh my gosh. Okay, I feel so safe here. Like, I like it.
Really upsets some people.
Good. It's good. It's good. They're all good.
When I say I don't like something of Taylor Swift, it's still significantly higher than anyone else for me.
100%.
It's still like when I say I don't like it, it doesn't mean I don't like it. It means compared to other Taylor Swift things, it's on the bottom.
Yeah. And then when I like think about it, I'm like, I love Sparks Fly. Like what
there are moments like, on Speak Now that I love, but
I love Better Than Revenge Mean Girl edition. Like
oh my god, yes.
And like listen to that after high school, like just like a long day and like jam to that and make up a music video in my mind. Like that was therapeutic. But as a whole, I don't know. I think that you have this opinion, Emily, that like Enchanted is kind of like mid for you. Is that true?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I feel kind of the same. You know what? I have this theory. I think Enchanted is actually a very, very sad song. Like, because like
I can see that.
I like write a lot. Like I'm trying to write a book. Trying being the operative word. And I write to a lot of Taylor Swift songs. And like anytime I need like something that feels like really sad, I put on Enchanted.
Oh, interesting. Is it like the desperation of it? Of her
kind of. Like... It's kind of like I'm making this up in my mind, but it was never real.
Right. Because
I just saw you and I made this up all in my mind, and who's to say it's real?
And if you think about like why would someone do that? It's like what state of mind would they be into that one interaction would make them feel that way?
Yeah, and I understand like seeing someone and like feeling like immediately intrigued by them, but like I always every time I'm like, I write sad scenes to that song.
Wow, that is so interesting.
Where you get like a sadness from it.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I feel like I don't like it, because the whole like please don't be in love with someone else, please don't have somebody waiting on you, like the way that people love that,
but it's like
it is, but then I feel like I hear people singing it and like screaming it with their whole chest, and I'm like, I don't get it. It's kind of sad, and I guess maybe that's subconsciously what I've just been thinking this whole time.
Yeah. What is your favorite song from Speak Now?
Long Live.
Yeah. Okay.
Easily, I think. Yeah.
It's just,
I think mine is actually Sparks Fly.
Mine is too. Yeah.
I love Sparks Fly. I also, ironically, I love Last Kiss. I know that song is like tragically sad, but I feel like
her tragically sad ones are the best ones, though.
Yeah, I feel like it like really hits being young and feeling that way. Like I think it captures that feeling really well. I always say she articulates my feelings way better than I ever could. 100%. And that is one of the songs.
Yeah,
that
I can get that. About. It's the shaky breath of it all too. It is a good. That used to be like in my top 10.
It's not one I listen to a lot because I don't want to cry. But, it is a beautiful song.
And maybe that's the thing about Speak Now in general too. It's all the songs are so good and so emotional, but it's so like juvenile a little bit, and maybe that's why I don't like go for it.
Yeah, as adults, we just don't relate to it anymore.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, that was my most like emotional re-release, because like I was like going, like I like mentally like hopped back into my little white car that I was in high school and like went through all the emotions that I was feeling listening to them then, which was like kind of silly because I was like, why were you worried about this? Like, what was going on with you? So it was kind of like this like sweet little like, oh, like you went through this. And like it is like self-written. So like I feel like there's like that element to it too, that like it's not like I like that she did it, and I like that she proved to herself that she could write a whole album on her own.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it proves that like sometimes she needs to be funneled, and like sometimes like there's a curation that is outside of writing that maybe her being assisted by is helpful, which like sounds mean. I don't know. It felt mean to say that, but it's not. It's like
Having
different
a team is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a different like creative process.
Definitely. And if you're in the music business for 18 years, I would hope that you change a little bit and change the way you do things and the way you make music and the way you write. You know, that's people should be changing if you're doing something for that long, for the better, of course.
Yeah, and it always feels mean to put Speak Now at the bottom, because like I think that's it's, and I think that I never felt that way before I was introduced to the like ranking video comments of like worst take ever, like
it's so rude to put a complete
made your brain.
So rude to put a self-written album last. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and it's like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Like, why would you rank it higher?
You're the one who's angry right now, not me.
I'm having a good time.
Right. Like, calm down. It's so funny. That's why I think we're just the perfect age to have grown up with Taylor and have those experiences through life with the albums. Like the kids these days, they just don't get it. They have the re-recordings and that's beautiful and wonderful, but like it's just something like you were saying earlier, you turned 15 right before 15 came out. Like that was such a significant to have that song 15, at 15
when 15 was out was crazy.
It was
actually I think I had just was about to turn 16, so it's like on the cusp there, but
but
still I had been 15 very recently.
Like Taylor was 15 also, and she wrote this really great song.
And I remember when I was in high school feeling like Taylor Swift was so much older than me, but now that I'm 31, I'm like, we're literally so close in age.
Isn't that crazy?
And I always felt like she was like, because I'm the oldest in my family, so I always felt like she was like the older sister I didn't have, because she is like 6 or 7 years older than me. So it was just kind of like she would go through things before I would, and it was just like,
and then
by the time she was writing about it, I was experiencing it. So it was just like a crazy, and it's like you can't recreate that now. Like she's the age that she is, and they're the age that they are. But it's funny to watch because the little girls that I nanny, they are obsessed. Like I apologize to their mom all the time. I'm like, I'm really sorry I created monsters, because they only know who she is because of me.
Only know who she is.
Well, they would. No.
But they're not exactly following People magazine.
right. But they would have, I think eventually figured out who she was otherwise, but they've been listening to her since they were babies, because I'm crazy. And it's funny to hear them talk about the music from their lenses, because they're 13 and 11, and just how they like what songs they like and the albums that they're like drawn to. And it's funny because they both love Speak Now, and it makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
And they gravitate to that young diaristic connection.
Yeah, that's so cute to watch. It'll change when they're older.
I will say I do think Dear John is her most like savage song, like in terms of like all of her like exposés about her exes, if you will. That one to me, I think, I'm trying to remember what the exact lyric is like something about girls with tired eyes because you burn them out, but I took the matches before fire could catch them. It's like that whole idea is just like,
I would agree with you, but I think The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is worse. I think it's meaner. I do. I think it's meaner. I think until that song I would have agreed with you, but I think it's The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived is a little harsher.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Dear John is crazy though, because she like fully name dropped.
And she also completely mimicked
the style.
Which is
that was the thing is like, I talked about that on TikTok once of like how it's a name drop that's not a name drop because a Dear John letter is like a thing.
Yeah.
And that like, that was like, and then she like, it was almost worse that she like replicated his style of like guitar than she said his name.
Yeah.
Like she could have gotten away with the Dear
so
John.
Pointed.
There's layers to it. There's so many layers to that song that just makes it so devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I would never show my face again.
No, literally. Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny.
But yeah, smallest man who ever lived is like, yeah, like he should be in jail. Okay.
That song's crazy. I just don't think it's like personal enough. I don't feel like it hits.
Yeah.
Okay, I can agree.
Yeah.
With that. I can see
she stabbed him and then turned around on Midnights with would have could have showed up and stabbed him right back.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll never
double
escape.
Homicide for the same person.
Oh
He'll never escape.
Let's talk about the Eras tour for a second. I know you went. How many times did you go? Like, what shows did you go to?
So I went to like 2.5 shows because like I will say it because like it sounds sad and it is kind of sad, but like I went to opening night in Arizona and the second night, but I was in the process of being diagnosed with a chronic illness in that time, and so I actually left during Betty on night 1 to go to the ER because I just was like unwell. And then I rallied for the next night and I like sat down the whole time, but it was kind of hard to see because you kind of had to like, go between everyone. Yeah. So that was like, The Girl in the Dress Cried the Whole Way Home was like my song that first night. Very sad. I know that was very sad to say, but yeah, it was really hard to leave because like it was one of those things of like I wanted to have the same experience that everyone else was having, but I was like having like a little minor health breakdown.
Like have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, went to the ER in a dress that I looked like a disco ball in. I will say when I got there, she goes, "Hi, honey, are you over 18 or under 18?" And I said, "I'm 30."
Well, you know what? Honestly, what a compliment.
And she then goes, "Oh my gosh, I have to find out your skincare routine." And I was like, "I actually like to check in."
Yeah.
Emergency room.
I'm actually not doing well.
I'm actually not here to like
to chat.
To chat. I didn't
my
come
skin.
To chat. Yeah. But thank you. I will tell you about Peter Thomas Roth later. But yeah, so that was like a bummer. But I was really glad I got to see what I did see because I saw like Invisible String when she first played that because that is now dead and gone and buried, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was fun. I also didn't realize because everyone watched it on live stream because my sister didn't come. It was me and my mom, thank God, because she was able to be there and assist. But my sister would have been not useless. I love you, Hannah, but like I don't think she would have been as helpful. But she had told me, she was like, "Oh, for surprise song, she did Mirror Ball," which was like at the time one of my favorite songs. Like I just and I dressed as Mirror Ball. Like I literally wore you lost me.
We cut out. We cut out for like a second.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Okay. Am I back?
Yeah,
you're back.
I would just start with
hesitant.
No, you're back.
Oh, I can back up. No worries.
I would just start with like your mom would have been helpful. And then
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Your mom was more helpful
my mom was way more helpful than my sister. Love her to death, but like would have been useless. And she told me though, because she was watching live stream, that Mirror Ball she played acoustically, but I didn't understand the concept of the surprise songs.
Right.
Because I didn't want to know what had happened in the last half of the show because I wanted to see it. Right. And so I thought she was gonna play Mirror Ball again. But I had dressed like a Mirror Ball. I had like short sleeve, like I keep it on the back of my door downstairs because it's like so important to me. But I had like worn disco ball earrings, like I had like disco ball things in my hair. I was a Mirror Ball. And so when I found out she played that, I literally just sat there in the ER like having a mental breakdown. But the next night I was like, no worries, she's gonna play Mirror Ball again, not recognizing that she was gonna play a new song. Right. But when she started introducing the song, she like played This Is Me Trying, and the way that she introduced it, it sounded like it could have been Mirrorball, the way she was talking about it, that like you have no idea what anyone else is going through, that like everyone in this room has their own struggles. And I was like, Taylor Swift, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? I'm sobbing right now because like of all the songs that you could play, like I came back, like I almost didn't go to the show because I was feeling so bad, but I was like, I can't miss this. Right. So I just put on my Eras Tour t-shirt, put my sneakers on, and I sat there. And when she played, like she started singing This Is Me Trying and like started singing that, it felt like she was singing it to me. And I just sat there, like I wish I had it on video, but I just sat there sobbing the whole time, and my mom got a really terrible video of it, but it's still the essence of it. And I like I think she played State of Grace on piano that night, but I completely missed it because I just was sitting there just like,
oh my God,
in absolute tears, because it felt like she showed up for me there in that way that like I only went there because she was there. Well, that's why we were all there, but like I wasn't gonna miss it. And so it felt like she like showed up back for me, and I just like couldn't handle it. Like
she played the song you needed, not the song you wanted.
Exactly. That's what she does. That's what Taylor does.
That is what she does.
And I just like, I literally lost my mind. And like, even thinking about that song, like I don't listen to it anymore, like on its own. Like I'll go back and watch the video, but I can't listen to it because I just think about that and I start sobbing. It like, it feels very like Evermore, like the song of like, it was real enough to get me through. And I swear you were there. She was actually there, but like, it's that like essence of that.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I actually then got like after that started feeling really bad. So I left right before Midnight Rain, and we were leaving as it was playing. And Midnight Rain is my favorite song off of Midnights. And I just like, speaking of lyric fixations, at the time it was a slow motion love potion jumping off things in the ocean.
Oh yeah.
And I just stood there and waited until she said it. I was like, okay, we can go now.
I'm good now. Yeah. I've heard everything I needed to hear.
Everything you needed to hear. But then my friend Melanie from college got tickets in Atlanta, which is where I live. And so I went with her a month later, and I sat there and we were up like in the top section. So sitting was completely fine. Yeah. And I finally saw the end of that fucking show because I like was trying to avoid it. Like for
God. Hard to
like
do.
it was hard to do. And like I successfully did it. I didn't know which song was ending it. I thought it was going to be Mastermind, but it was Karma.
Wow.
So I didn't even know that. But when I finally went to it, like saw it, I went on April 29th. So
okay, all right.
So I saw that one in Gorgeous, which at first I was like, gorgeous, but then like the relationship of those songs, like being like, do you want to know where I was? This is where I was.
Yeah, I love that.
Loved that, iconic, but loved it when I finally saw it and like was able to be there. But I think one of my core memories that I'll always have is when she came out on night one before I started feeling bad in the Fearless era as herself, like cosplaying herself in the Fearless area with that energy.
Yes.
And I was like, I was crying happy tears at that point because I was like, are you kidding me? She's going to be herself from that era. And I lost my mind. That
was the moment at the Eras tour we all realized like, oh my God, we are truly taking a journey back through the eras.
Yeah.
Like she's taking us back to high school. Like we're doing this.
So high school.
I kick myself every day for not getting tickets to opening night. I don't know why the thought just didn't cross my mind.
Yeah. I tried so hard to get rid of mine, actually. Like I tried to sell them, but it was like that weird thing of like you could only release them the day of, but no one knew that at the time.
Yeah.
And I tried so hard to sell them, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm feeling fine. Yeah. Turns out I wasn't, but little did I know. But it's fine. It's fine now. But like, I just like the parts that I did see, like the opening, so unexpected. Like,
it's still so special to happen. Yeah, absolutely. Where were your seats on opening night?
They were so I guess if you're looking at the stage, it was on the right side, just like in the bowl, like I think like 10 rows back. So we had like the most amazing seats.
Oh wow.
And when she introduced herself and said, I'm Taylor, nothing but tears. Like
I love that she still does that. Like everyone in this room knows who you are, babe. You don't need to do that.
But it's so tooth and nail. Yeah. We know.
We all know who you are, don't worry.
Yeah. That was like, do y'all listen to New Heights?
Yes.
when recently Travis was like, yeah, you guys should try and go out and see that show. And I was like, buddy,
Yeah.
are you providing?
Yeah. Are you gonna buy us all tickets?
Yeah.
He's so funny. He's just like a little unaware sometimes of like everything. He was just kind of thrown into this whole Swiftie universe. Poor thing.
He's honestly handling it with such grace.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Were either of you at like a announcement night, like of a album release?
No, I was at MetLife night 1 when the Karma music video with Ice Spice came out.
What was that like?
So it was crazy because I actually had the kids with me. I had wanted to take them to the Eras tour so bad because again, I literally raised these children on this music. They're obsessed with her. I always wanted to take them to a Taylor Swift concert. I was watching them when Reputation came out, but they were little. They were like 3, 4, and 5 or 6.
Not going to be a lot of fun.
They were too little. But for Eras, they were 8, 10, and 12. So I was like, okay, they're like at a good age where I can take them by myself. I wanted to take them so bad and just couldn't get tickets, obviously. And then I ended up getting tickets literally the day of, like on the like Ticketmaster drops.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like my friend actually was the one who ended up getting them in her car. She was like, this is literally $2,000. Are you sure? And I'm like, I don't care. Buy the fucking tickets. Like, I don't care. I'll figure out the money later.
For 4 tickets?
4 tickets. They were $500 a piece on the floor.
That's
yeah.
What's the question?
What? Yeah, right. Exactly. I was like, there isn't a question here. Like, I buy the fucking tickets, whatever.
Yeah.
So then I had to go pick them up from school. We ran to MetLife. So we were on like such an adrenaline rush. Like, we literally missed the opener. We got there right as Gail was getting off stage.
Yeah.
So like right when Phoebe Bridgers' set was starting. And so it was just like a crazy night. And like we get there, we're on the show, we're on the floor, they're like dying. Like they had been to a concert before, but not like like this. Not like this, exactly. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because we were sitting there and Haley said to me, her name's Haley too, the oldest, and she said to me, she was like, do you think something's gonna happen tonight? And I was like, no.
She felt it in her bones.
I was like, probably not. Like, she's like, I just really think she's gonna sing Maroon tonight and something's gonna happen. And I was like, okay, girl, like I love this for you.
Like,
and like,
truth.
Yeah. That was also the day that the You're Losing Me CDs were like for sale at the show. And she like really wanted to wait in line. I was like, sis, if we wait in line, we're gonna miss Taylor. Like we're gonna miss the opening of the show. And so I was like, we have to make a decision here because I had already seen the show, so I didn't care. I'm like, if you guys really want to wait in line, we will. If not, they decide they want to go in, and we're sitting there talking, and then she comes out for surprise songs, and she's acting weird. Like Taylor was like acting weird, and Haley looks at me. She was like, "I was right. Something's happening," and I was like, "Okay, whatever." And then she plays the music video. Ice Spice didn't come out when she played the music video, but she came out when she played Karma. Ice Spice came out and sang her verse and stuff. But then she ended up playing Maroon that night. And she also played Getaway Car with Jack.
Wait, I was about to ask if that was Getaway Car night. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Because I watched all of those, but they like all blended together.
Yeah. And they love that song. Like, love it. So it was just like the best night for them. Like,
oh my God. That's like such a big night too.
It was, yes. It was crazy.
Cute.
And then Ice Spice came out, and it was a crazy night. Just in general.
Facts.
Facts.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, that was the most exciting of my shows.
Wow.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't go to anything exciting. Well, I went to nights 1 and 2, and then I went to Philly night 1 and
You went
3.
on Mother's Day, right?
I did.
I'm such a stalker.
I love it. It's funny. I painted a mural in Philly for Taylor.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
It was so much fun. It was so cool. Through a radio station, they reached out.
That's actually where this podcast was born, was painting that mural.
Really?
Yeah, because I went and helped her.
I was being really quiet about it on social media because I didn't like know if I could say anything. I like didn't want to, whatever. But Serena like picked up on it. She's like, "Are you doing this? Do you need help?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can come paint if you want to. I'll put you to work, I guess." Yeah, and then we were kind of just talking about, I asked about your podcast, if you were still doing it.
Yeah.
You said no, and then you were like, I kind of want to do a Taylor one. I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And then here we are.
And here we all are.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But it was really sweet because the radio station, like they did an unveiling. The day of the first show, and my mom was like such a huge help throughout the whole mural process. Like she came every day and like she was helping paint, and she was so excited about it. And then the radio station was like, I hope you don't have plans for Mother's Day because here's 2 tickets to go see Taylor, like for both of us.
Yeah.
And it was so nice. It was like
That's
club
so
seating, front
nice.
row, right at the diamond. Like it was perfect.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And she played The Best Day.
The Best Day. I don't even really like that song, and I sobbed the whole time. I like.
You can't not. Your mom's there.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was like, what am I what emotion am I experiencing right now? Like, what is going on with me?
One of my really good friends was at that show with her daughter, and they were at like the back of the floor because they had gotten their tickets like after the fact. It was like added seats that they had gotten, and somebody from Taylor's team came up to them and was like, because her daughter was having a really hard time seeing, and somebody from Taylor's team came up to them and were like, hey, like, would you like upgraded seats? And I took them literally front row. Yeah. It was crazy.
So nice.
Oh, that's
we stand Taylor's team.
And I asked her, I was like, do you know who it was that came up to you? Like, was it anybody like of? And she was like,
she have red hair?
Yeah, for real.
She's like, I have no idea who it was. She thought it was a guy. She's like, was it her dad? And she was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Was he
There's
tall?
a lot of team members I feel like that are walking around doing that, like
fair.
the whole show.
Oh, that's so
great.
nice.
Yeah.
What was your favorite surprise song that y'all got in all your shows?
Oh my god. Wow.
I think Getaway Car with Jack, I would say.
That I was gonna say that was my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And I also Come Back Be Here. She sang at my first show.
Yeah.
And
was that
I
one too?
love that song. So
that is I don't know where you fall in Gilmore Girls, but that is a Rory and Logan song.
Yes, it is. Very much.
I loved getting Tim McGraw on the first night before we even knew that was gonna be.
Oh my god.
Just hearing that song and her being like, this is my first show of the Eras Tour. I'm gonna play you the first song I ever put out. Like immediate chills, just like
I immediately want to cry now. Why? I don't know.
Why? Right. I'm like, I've been crying this whole time. Now I'm crying harder.
Great.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was special. What's yours that you got to see?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I really wish I could have seen Mirrorball, but like that one, it's just but I loved April 29th because of the reaction to it. Because a lot of people were like missing the lyrics, not gonna lie. That's a wordy song, and it like switches, the words switch a couple times, so it was a hard one. But when Do You Really Want to Know Where I Was, April 29th came on,
nobody missed
that. No one missed that. The roar of it, it just was like, it's just one of those things that like, that's when you feel like the most like cultish, like the most like we're all friends here, when like moments like that happen. It just like so good.
I feel like that's how the entire rep set feels.
Yes. And even like the 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. It's like, okay, are we at a Rocky Horror Picture Show? Or
it's like you see
happening?
that snake on the big screen and everyone just like switches. The energy changes. Everyone is just.
And I feel like you could even feel that at the movie. Like if you went and saw the Eras Tour movie, like you could just feel the energy in the room shift when the repetition starts.
And it also, I don't know if y'all had this, because like on like, I guess, quote unquote opening night of the Eras Tour, there was a ton of middle schoolers there, and it felt like these were girls who like didn't get tickets to the Eras Tour but really big fans. And by the rep set, they felt comfortable enough to be themselves, like because like Fearless, they were still kind of like in their seats jamming, but by the rep set they were all in the aisles, they were all like dancing their hearts out, having the best time ever. And like that shift there, and I feel like that's kind of true like at the concert. And not that like you're like holding back for any reason, but it's just like she's warmed you up at that point.
Now we're ready. Like, are you ready for it? Yes,
actually I am.
It just kind of
thanks
changes.
for asking.
It just kind of changes.
Do you think she's gonna do a big change to it when Rep TV comes out?
No, I think we'll just get a costume change, and that's really it.
I don't even think we're gonna get a costume change. I think she likes the bit too much. I don't think she'll ever change that rep costume.
No, I could see her literally changing it on the night of the announcement and then never wearing
again.
the change again. Like going back to the red and black and just wearing that for the rest of the tour.
Well, I like the idea that it's going to say the same, but the arm and the leg is going to switch. And that's it.
That would be hilarious.
Like, that's the only thing.
Yeah, there was a theory. People were like, wait a second. Have we ever considered, has she been switching legs this whole time? And then it was debunked very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been hilarious.
And I do wonder, because in the like opening, like on the screen, it's 2 full pant legs. So I'm like, are we just going to get a full pant leg?
That's it. She just
that's it. Like you just
put
the other half
the arm
of the
and the
costume.
leg in. Yeah, and it's full costume now.
And that's it. Like now, reputation's complete. The costume's complete.
Yeah.
Oh my god! If the one leg was getting longer each show, up into the
Bermuda short length,
it would just be this awkward leg for a couple shows.
Capris.
Can you imagine? Oh my god! Oh, what do you think? I don't think we've even talked about this. The Tortured Poet set.
Oh,
the addition of.
I love it. I love it so much. I love the marching band because I think mentally that's what's going on in my mind. Did y'all see that TikTok that she liked of that guy who like was like going through the streets like to that song and got like dragged away? I'm like, that's the energy. Yes. And when she came out with that fucking marching band, I was like, yes, this is it. This is what I feel in my mind. Like, love it. I love that so much.
It is so insane the way she put those songs together, and like
I know. I want to know the logistics of like, when did the dancers hear the songs? When did they find out the set was changing? When did they start? Like, I know she said it was like over the break, but I'm like, were they just learning the dance to like counts? Like, had they heard the music? Like, I have so many questions.
They probably had heard the music, right? Like, if she's
like
playing it for people.
Yeah, maybe, but then again, like in her music videos, she doesn't play the songs when she films her music videos. If they're like ahead of time, she just plays it in her ears. Yeah, which is
so. I almost wonder if they learned it to just counts, and then once the album came out, they started practicing with the music. I kind of feel like that was the case, to be honest.
Well, there was a Posty interview. I don't know if y'all follow Post Malone, but like I love Post Malone, but he was saying that like someone was like, can't wait to hear the song, and he was like, me too.
Yeah.
And like he hadn't heard it yet.
So that's why I feel like the dancers they did it. Like I really feel like they learned the beginning of the choreo to counts, and then once the album came out, they would play it with music, is what I would have to assume, because you don't really, like, I was a dancer growing up, so you really don't need music to start learning a dance. Like you just listen to counts anyway. And
they're professional enough.
Right. And it's not
they're used to.
There's actually not. I love the choreo in the new set. I actually think, and maybe it's just recency bias, but I think it's the best set of the show.
No, it is the best set of the show.
Absolutely. It feels the most produced, like the production value of it. Mm-hmm. And like that's what it's supposed to be. Is like she brings this theatricality to it, and like the costumes. Are you kidding me?
The costuming, the choreo, the pacing, it's just really good.
The blatant costume change on set, like on stage, to like
obsessed with that.
Yeah. The way that they have to like revive her to sing the last song.
And I'm so interested to see how that bit is going to evolve over time. I've been seeing tweets. It's like Cam's going to be pulling her ass off the ground by the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Like, she's just gonna get more defiant as time goes on.
It's so funny because it's true. Like she's been adding little things to like every other song and the way she like dances. But it's like this one is already so like she's already so crazy and insane when she's doing this. Like, what else could she do to just like make us like?
She'll find a way. She always
will find a way.
I love it. It's like feels like cringy in some ways, but like in the best way. Like she's the beloved mayor of Cringe City. Like love it.
Exactly.
Very dramatic.
When you give a theater kid $1 billion, it's literally
exactly.
Here she is. Female Rage the musical. Do y'all feel incredibly sad when she sings "I Can Do It with Broken Heart"? Like it's like very meta that she's singing it there at the Eras tour.
Yes,
but like in like such a way that you're like, as the crowd was chanting more, like we're singing it, and you're just like,
feel guilty singing it. Yeah,
exactly. So it's just like one of those things of like, yeah, but at the same time, I need to like whisper
more maybe, but not if you don't want to.
But not if you don't want to. If you want to lay back down, we can do that for a second.
Totally. Get back on the couch, queen. Yeah,
have a little sip.
Hand me the mic. I got it. I'll take over.
I can do this. Yeah,
but I also feel like part of me is like, she's happy now. You know, she wrote that in the beginning of tour. She's fine.
Right. She's singing so high school now. Yeah, she's having experiences to Grand Theft Auto, so she's fine.
Exactly, she's good.
Literally.
She's got hickeys on stage. You know, she's fine.
Yeah. Did y'all see Travis like literally recording with the flash on?
Yes.
So high school.
Did you see Jason roast him on?
Yeah, he was so defensive too. He was like, I wanted a good video. I'm like, buddy, if you want a good video, just ask your girlfriend. She has that.
She has plenty of them.
Professional cameras
And
around
he
it.
was like, well, that's just the settings of your phone. Like the flash just goes off when it's dark.
Okay,
and
Travis.
Jason was like, you can turn it off.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. It felt so boomer.
It did. And it was funny to hear Jason be the one to call him out because that's something
I love
Jason
when he calls him out.
I love it
Yeah.
too. Because you just know their dynamic is just amazing.
Yeah.
I just love them.
Me too.
But,
Dream podcast. I told my therapist about that. She was like, what have you been doing lately? And I was like, oh, I love this football podcast. And she was like,
okay,
say more. I was like, it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
She's like, are you going through something?
There we go.
She's like,
I am going through something.
Let's talk about it.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh. Speaking of going through something, we haven't even like touched on the Tortured Poets as an album in whole. I just want to know your thoughts. Like, where does it stand? First of all, what is your I don't know, give us your top 3 albums, top 5 if you want. Where does Tortured Poets stand in that?
So after my top 3, I'm a little loosey-goosey.
I feel that.
Around a bit. But number 1, not controversially, but I just don't feel like a lot of people have this as number 1, Midnights.
Yes. Okay.
It's just
obsessed.
It's just my favorite.
Mine
I don't
too.
know what it is, but I think that listening to Tortured Poets, I knew it wasn't my favorite because when I listened to Midnights, that immediately injected into my blood and I could feel it.
Yeah.
There was the moment Lavender Haze hit, I was like, oh, okay, I'm addicted to a new drug.
Right.
No questions asked. Every single song hit for me. When people were like, this one had to grow, any of them, I'm like, no, this is the first album where none of them were a grower. All of them were immediate favorites.
I love that you say that because I felt the same exact way about Midnights.
Yeah, I love it. And when everyone was like, this is not album of the year, I'm like, this is the album of my life, actually. So
so don't
Grammy of my life.
Yeah.
And after that is Folklore, because I felt that way about Folklore when it came out too.
I felt that way about Folklore as well.
It just came out right at the right time. It was right for me. And then third is Rep.
Okay.
And after that, it gets a little
murky. I get it.
Yeah, because I think Tortured Poets is next because it is the love child of all 3 of those albums.
I completely agree with you.
So it feels like it naturally would fall next.
Yeah.
And then I think it's Fearless or 1989.
Wow.
Okay.
Very different there.
Yeah.
Our top 6 are the same. Different orders, but the same.
Yeah. Okay. Because I then want to throw Debut in there. Because one of my
that's
top
how I
songs.
feel about Red. I'm like, I want Red in there too.
Yeah. Because there's just something about Cold As You that feels like the best song she's ever written. Now that I'm sitting here thinking it through, I've never been anywhere cold as you. Wow.
And a child wrote that.
Right? And you run away with a great little story of a mess of a dreamer with the nerve to adore you.
God damn.
It's speechless.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear the re-recording of that.
Yeah. Right? And if she doesn't put Crazier from the Hannah Montana movie in the vault track, I
am boycotting.
Yeah. For a minute and I'll come back.
Well, yeah, for real. I'll just complain about it on Twitter, but
yeah,
I'll be mad.
I'll
probably make a sign when I go to their tour in August.
And then you get punched by every single person.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care.
You are crazier for not including this.
Yeah. Why is it not on the set, actually? Why hasn't it been a surprise song?
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna at least re-record it. If it's not a vault track, we're gonna get it eventually. I feel like.
Have to.
We have to. Yeah, we have to. She did Eyes Open. I mean, she did put on Red. So never mind. And Safe and Sound. Whatever.
It better be on Debut.
Yeah.
Even though it did come out during the Fearless era, but we're just gonna ignore that.
I know. She seemed to ignore that too.
Yeah, we're gonna ignore it and pretend that
whatever.
We still have hope.
Yeah. We still have hope. We'll see what happens. Maybe she'll put it on Rep.
Maybe.
Okay, imagine.
That would be crazier.
You're like, all right, Taylor.
Yeah. You said that's what the song is called. It's called Crazier.
Yeah, you wanted Crazier? Here's Crazier.
Here's Crazier.
Top 3, Midnights and Lover switch for number 1 all the time.
Lover used to be really high up there for me, but it's fallen off in recent years.
I understand. I also, part of me wants to push it, but that was the album because I fell off after 1989 Red, and then Lover kind of brought me back into it.
Yeah,
and
I know you're also a Me.
I love Me.
I love Me.
Huge Me fan.
So love Me so much.
Yeah, not necessarily when it first came out. I mean, I did love it, but I wasn't as big of a fan as I was now. But those two definitely switched for number 1, and then Red, and I guess it's the top 3. There you go. Midnight's Lover and Red.
So I really insulted y'all with putting Red as low. Like, just
sure did. It's the nostalgia thing. I think that was the album that came out for me at the right exact perfect time. It was like I said, the first album I bought myself, like just that first like Taylor Swift, like I'm in it now kind of thing.
Yeah,
that was it for me.
Yeah, my top 3. It changes so frequently, but I'm gonna go on record today and say Folklore, Rep, and 1989 actually.
Wow, good choices. Good choices actually.
There's no bad choices here.
No bad choices.
Really no bad
I'm surprised you put Red up there though.
Well, Red is, again, it's the nostalgia for me. It's not like top 3 nostalgia. Like I don't love it that much, but it's probably my number 5 or 6. I think Tortured Poets probably would knock it down because I would probably go next Midnights and then probably Tortured Poets.
Yeah. I like also feel bad for not throwing Fearless Tyler because I think that Mr. Perfectly Fine was like we were robbed of that. Like that one should have been on the original album. Like I think that's one of my favorite of all time. Yeah. Like it just was so.
Yep. I don't know how it didn't make the original cut.
But Breathe did.
Yeah.
I can't stand that song.
I love that song so much. Like I listen to that. I listen to that to make myself sad. Like I have like a like songs to purposely make myself sad. Taylor Swift edition.
Breathe. Enchanted.
Right there.
I like Breathe, but I think Mr. Perfectly Fine deserved a place over Breathe for sure.
I don't know. Just insane.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm at the point though where I can put Tortured Poets in my ranking yet. Like I really don't. I feel like forever.
It feels like it's forcing it in there.
Yeah.
And it feels just like too much like recency bias for me. Like I'm like, okay, you're only saying this because you love it right now. I need to live with it a little longer for sure.
Because I just don't know. Having like putting those 31 songs like above or below anything is just not.
I know.
Computing. It's like I have to start a new ranking. I'll rank the first 10 and then I'll rank the next 10. How about that?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
You think we're gonna get 9 more? Are we gonna get 20 albums?
9 more.
Taylor Swift?
Absolutely. We got 7 in the past 3.
And she might take a little nap, but like she'll be back at it with 6 more albums when she's awake.
Sometimes I'm kind of like, dang, do I want you to take a break? But then I'm like, no, I love it. And what will I do?
Whatever's best for her, whatever she decides.
I completely agree. And yes, that's the answer. But I'm like, if it was my decision, what decision would I make?
Probably
if you were Taylor Swift.
Well, I don't know how she functions in the world. Like, I'm like, how are you awake?
Yeah.
Do you sleep?
Honestly, though, I feel like someone has said this before, and I kind of agree. They were like, she seems like she's doing a lot, but realistically, like her flights are planned for her, her bags are packed for her. She just literally has to walk on and off a plane.
True.
Like she can sleep on the plane, she can do whatever. Right. Like she's just living her life doing things on a daily basis, and it just feels like a lot right now.
And she has so much help with like the mundane things that take up so much of our time.
Yeah, and she's such like her like writing. I feel like exactly, and her art like comes right. Like she's so good at it. She's just like doing it. It's not like she has to sit down and like really work through and like try so hard to write 10 songs. It like comes naturally. Like I just feel like
she's having to cut them out because she has so many.
Yeah, that too. Very so it's like I don't think I'm sure she's tired. She does a lot, but it's like I don't think it's as exhausting.
My favorite thing from the Time article that came out was that she like the day after like her sets are over, she lays in bed all day. And I was like, that's the most relatable thing you have ever said, Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
so true. I laid in bed all day after I went to the Eras tour and I didn't even perform.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even wear heels. I had sneakers on and I had to lay in bed all day.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Come for my job, as she said.
I will not be trying to come for your job. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want it. Yeah. You're doing great.
You're doing great, sweetie. We don't need to take it from you.
Yeah.
So funny.
But Tortured Poets, what is y'all's favorite? I need to know. I haven't talked to anyone about this because I have to admit, like before this, I was sitting on my back porch for an hour listening to it, just getting so excited. I'm like, I wish I could talk to someone about this. And I was like,
oh, let's talk
exactly
about
why I'm doing this.
It's perfect. Oh, my favorites. Okay. Guilty as Sin is really up there for me as a favorite.
Absolutely.
The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, obviously. And I love Fortnite. I know like a lot of people are like, whatever, don't love it.
No, it was. I put it low until I watched the music video, and that hug between Taylor Swift and Post Malone.
There was something there.
Excuse me.
That's one of the wonders of the world. Like something about that changed the chemistry in my brain, and I was like, give me the romance novel immediately about this moment,
about
this hug,
please.
Yeah,
crazy. I also really, really love The Alchemy.
I love The Alchemy.
I'm gonna get you back. Really sits well with me. The Prophecy hits a little too close to home for me, but I do love it.
The Prophecy.
It's painful.
So good.
It's and I really love Peter.
Peter.
Yeah, my sister is a 1975 stan, so she filled me in on a lot of
the lore.
Of the lore there. Yeah.
So one of my really close friends, actually, who I'm going to see the Eras Tour in London with, is the 1975's #1 fan. She's seen them many times. I literally slept in the streets of Philadelphia with her to be barrier at a show for the 1975, where I knew one song, and I was front row at the show. He was probably looking at me like, "Who are you and why are you here?"
Which song do you know?
About You.
Oh, of course.
You didn't even know Robbers?
Well, I know Robbers now.
Love It If You Made It.
Chocolate?
I didn't know any of these songs.
Oh my God.
I do know them now.
I feel like I grew up.
You live in a box.
Yes. I was very unaware. I didn't even know what the 1975 was until I became friends with her.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That's
I mean, I knew like Taylor Swift wore a 1975 shirt.
Yes. But I didn't
back
know how
in the day.
deep the lore went. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of my favorite songs. It's so hard to pick. My absolute favorite song on Torture Poets is Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. It was my favorite,
good.
like from the beginning. I think it's just always going to be my favorite. The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Obviously.
I think only like the bridge though for me. That one.
I agree.
Like,
but it carries it.
The bridge is so good that it makes the rest
it
of the
does
song
it for
good.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like So Long London is a top
immediately.
30. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. I always forget that I like that one. I know it's God. How Did It End?
Oh, I love that
How Did It End? One of my favorite comparisons she's ever made in a song ever is the beginning of that one when she says that he was a hothouse flower to my outdoorsman, because it's so interesting that she's like, that's why it ended. Like that comparison, because like hothouse flower is like a literal thing, but also a metaphor for someone who's like sheltered, delicate, like all of these things. And then she was an outdoorsman who wanted to be outside and he did not. Like, and then she's like, how did it end? And I'm like, you already told us.
You just said it. Yep. And then she goes on to say, like, I don't even know how it ended. And we're like, but you're telling us everything.
But you're telling us everything.
Yeah.
Such a good one.
It's so crazy. The whole, like, the anthology tracks are so poetic. And so, like, you really have to dig. Like, you have to think about every lyric like that.
Yeah.
To, like,
so
really get it.
of her.
And I also feel like
y'all are really into trios of like songs. Like that one's a wild trio, because that one is How Did It End? So High School, Thank You, Amy. Or if you go in the other way, it's
Whiplash.
Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus, How Did It End? So High School. And you're like,
Whiplash. It's How Did It End? To So High School is maybe the craziest thing she's ever done.
I don't ever.
It is the biggest whiplash of all time.
I don't know. I don't feel like it feels like whiplash. I feel like it feels like rebirth. Like it feels like death and rebirth.
Okay, yeah,
in a way.
Which is whiplash.
I don't know. It's a circle of life.
It is a circle of life, but it like when I listened to it the first time, I was like heartbroken. Oh my gosh, especially because she like really targeted us, like us in particular, with the empathetic hunger descends, and it's like, okay, calling me out. I get it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Like usually you relate to my feelings, but now you're like showing me how I feel about you. Great. And then immediately we're going to play Grand Theft Auto while something is happening. That was a big jump for me.
It's just like the complexity of her emotions.
Yeah.
You know, and going like just experiencing two things at the same time.
Yeah.
With two feelings at the same time.
But the DYNG and How Did It End just
that whole like bridge outro, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I don't even have words for it yet.
Did y'all see the memes that it was like, hey kids, spelling is fun?
Yes.
DYING.
Yes.
It's not fun anymore.
Yeah, I'm not having fun, Taylor. Mom, come pick me up.
And I feel like Torture Poets is one of those albums that is going to just like, as we have more time with it, like new meanings of things are just going to pop out.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear things differently. And it's just crazy.
I like to wait for other people to tell me what my like opinions are on the album and like hear what other
Very
people have to
good.
say, and then I'm like, no, you're right. Actually,
You're so right.
Yeah,
Could never.
I'm gonna take that. What are your favorites?
Changing constantly, but Guilty as Sin always stays there. Like Guilty as Sin, it's just in its own. It's already like cemented in like a ranking.
Yeah, that is like I would probably say like a top 10 song for me.
Yeah, so good. Like I love that one so much. I really love I Hate It Here because like as like an introvert book girly who lives inside her mind, like I had never so quickly cried at a song as that one. I spent a whole therapy session with my therapist, obviously, dissecting that song and talking about it and how it relates to me. And she was like, wow, maybe I should listen to Taylor Swift now. I was like, maybe just that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I have ADHD and an internal monologue and can see it. So sometimes I'll just like disappear into my mind.
Yeah.
Like that's why that song hit so hard for me is because like that there's like a whole like other world in there that no one can access.
Right.
And so like sometimes I'll just go there accidentally and then I'll come back and I'm like, oh, I didn't hear anything that just happened. I have been somewhere else entirely and I have no idea how long I was there. Because like when I listen to songs, like I can like see so clearly because like I have book ideas that are like fully inspired by like one lyric because I see an entire picture and world and like people in my mind when it happens. And that's why I was like so obsessively listening to Suburban Legends because I saw the people, like the two people who were there and I saw what they looked like and I saw where they were wearing and where they were. And it just like happened. And like,
what a great experience to have.
Other favorite songs from Torture Poet, other than I Hate It Here, LOML. Love that one so much. I saw y'all recently dissected that one.
Yes.
That one kills me. I'll Never Leave You, Never Mind. Like that one is full of like knives to stab you.
Yep.
That one's just that one. I also love The Alchemy. Like that one just there's just something about the way that one just the bop of that one really gets me. So Long London was my immediate favorite. Like night one when I listened to it, and it's since become Guilty as Sin, but So Long London is still, and it's just that I'm just getting color back into my face that like
I think it was probably like the third time I had listened to that song. I texted my number one Swiftie friend and I texted him and I was like, this song is so anxious. It makes me feel
it's out of the woods like, in a sadder way.
Yeah. And I'm like, just the way the production is done, like and like her feeling like it almost sounds like she's trying to, I think you said like catch up to herself. It's just so
she has never done a song like that and she never will again.
You can't recreate that kind of magic.
No.
It's beautiful. Good choice.
It's sad, but it's beautiful. Also the Black Dog, when I heard that one,
of course.
I was like, I like that fucking one left his location on. Like that one was like too personal. Like she was in my mind a little bit too much for that one. Like the key got unlocked and she got access and I don't know how, but she was there.
That's Emily. I'm like, okay, so she really is just a normal girl. Like she really is just like the rest of us. At the end of the day, you can give her all the money in the world, all the talent in the world, all the fame in the world, all the fans in the world. And at the end of the day, she's still sitting at home checking somebody's location just like me.
Yeah. Checking her little Sims and realizing that one of them that broke off
out of place.
Yeah. Is still showing up. But like immediately I was like, okay, put myself in that situation. I see this like love that ended and he's there. I can see him. I'm going to watch until he leaves. Like I'm going to like torture myself. Torture Poets Department. That's what it came from.
It's self-harm.
I'm just going to watch until he leaves and then wish that like all of the money that I had, if I'm Taylor Swift, could pay so I could turn on the locations of everyone in the world and figure out who he's sleeping with. Like that's my torturous thought process. Exactly. And I was like, well, I get it. I get how she ended up here.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if there were any other ones that y'all didn't name. I'm sure there are. There 100% are songs I'm not thinking of at the moment. But
there's just so many.
There's so many.
It's just like that's why I love being like, just give me your top 10 and just spewing out like the ones you can think of because it's like that makes sense.
Yeah.
I also love Fresh Out the Slammer. I feel like that one does not get enough.
Yeah.
I love that.
And Daddy, I Love Him. That's the other one.
See
like, that was in my bottom 3 night one. I was like, I don't like this one, but now it's like top 5. I love that one.
I love the performance. The performance of it did it for me. Like seeing the performance, I think changed the way that I felt about that song.
Yeah, There's just something about that I
That was me with
absolutely
Down
love.
Bad. Yeah, singing the performance of Down
Bad. Oh
was
my gosh, forgot about
See
Down
that?
Bad.
Yeah.
Down Bad crying in the gym.
And we could do this all night.
We truly could.
Like,
The
oh
only
God,
one
I
I
feel-
will admit that I have not like soul connected to. The other ones I feel like upon listening to them, I was like, yes, okay, we will grow together. But like at some point in the future when we have that moment is I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can. That's the only one that just like does nothing for me.
I
Does
can
nothing
get
for
that.
me.
I understand.
And
that.
I kind of feel the same way about Clairbow.
Oh, see, I really like the production of that one.
And
it's a sweet song.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not one I feel like I'm going to come back to a lot.
Yeah, it's like I have the CD in the car and I won't skip it. I don't really skip any of them, but I will skip. I Can Fix Him, actually.
Yeah, I won't skip it either, but I can. But I feel like it will become a skip eventually.
Yeah. Oh, and the Bolter. I love the Bolter.
The Albatross. I love the Albatross.
All her fucking lives flash before her eyes.
I love Cassandra too. So
Cassandra's beautiful.
Again, here we go. We just named the whole album.
Should we just name all of them? What have we missed?
I know. Literally. Let's go track by track. See if we can.
Yeah.
See, it's so funny. The only ones I'll skip right now are LOML and The Alchemy. I can't stand either of those songs.
Really?
Everyone,
I'm not on TikTok, so I never heard that Travi AI song.
Oh my God.
Gosh, this is so funny.
And everyone was like, this is that song. And I'm like, no.
It's not.
It's not, but
I want to gauge.
That Travis thing was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
It's so stupid.
And it was like
so scary.
I just think it's hilarious. And I also am still mourning the loss of the AI Fortnite because I liked that. I was really bopping.
I never heard that. I find that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have real 4
seconds.
So.
Right, I have real Fortnite.
It wasn't very long, but I just liked the beat of it. I mean, I like the real Fortnite too. But.
I do wish there was more Posty in that song.
I agree completely.
Yeah, but like maybe controversial opinion, the amount of Lana Del Rey in Snow on the Beach in the original one was the perfect amount.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, she did not need a more Lana.
Because I think that's actually. Because I sometimes when I say this is my favorite Taylor Swift song, I like almost want to take it back. It's like I feel like I have a favorite one that I can present, and I have a favorite one that's like in my soul that like if I say it, people are like, really? Which is Snow on the Beach is my favorite Taylor Swift song.
Well,
like
ever. Period.
Ever.
And did you hear the interview with Lana where she was saying, she was like, guys, I'm all over that song. I'm just really good at like vocally matching someone. So you just can't like it's hard for you to dissect who's Taylor and who's me, but I really am in the original version a lot.
Yeah, she's, oh my gosh, I can't think of what song it is, but she sings one lyric, one little line on Tortured Poets.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, there's like a little, I'd have to listen back to it, but there's like a little clip in one of the, it's in one of the first 4 tracks, I think, that like there's like a little line that she just sings the end of it.
Interesting. I love
I'll have to find it. But yeah, no, she's all over that song. It's perfect amount. And she even said, like, that was as much as I wanted to do. She wanted to do less.
I didn't need more. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when it came back with more.
It was too much. I mean, I think both Taylor and Lana fan bases overlap a lot. So when people saw the feature, they were so excited, like it was gonna fully be like the collab they've all been waiting for. And then it just
like
wasn't.
Phoebe was like so prominent.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what gave people hope.
But I also feel like for the most part, Taylor doesn't really do that. For the most part, features are not like getting.
No, but she did it for Phoebe, so that's why people were like, oh
yeah. Like when she put the chicks on Lover, it was like.
Where?
Where?
I don't see them.
I can't. Where are they in the room with us?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah,
yeah. But
yeah, I think that's like one of my. I don't think it's a controversial opinion to say that
great song.
There's enough of her.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, that's my
controversial to say it's your favorite song, Taylor song.
It really is. There's something about that song that just like immediately like. I don't know. It feels like it came from my brain, but also outside of it. And it just feels like me, but also not me. But like, I can relate it to like every single fictional character and in like, definitely not in my life. Like wouldn't one dream. But I love it. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is. And it's like such an odd favorite. I know. But
no,
I love that song, but I just would never even like, it's just like, I love that song. I really do. Every time I listen to it, it's like one of those songs I'll listen to it and then I'll put it on again. But I don't know why I would never say it's one of my favorites.
See, that's why like I feel like you have
like
a crowd facing, like audience facing favorite, and then like a soul favorite that like you kind of share just a little bit.
Makes, like, other people don't necessarily.
I get
it makes other people uncomfortable for you to say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Goodness.
What are y'all's favorites? Do you have like a favorite that you definitively know?
Would have, could have, should have is like number one for me. It was All Too Well for a very long time.
Yeah. See, that's not even my favorite song on Red.
All Too Well, really?
Yeah.
But would have, could have,
Holy Ground.
Just I don't know. It just does something to my brain.
It was like an instant classic.
Yeah.
An instant classic Taylor song. Yeah.
And there's something about like I think what really solidified it for me that I realized like, okay, like this is actually my number one song is I was at a Taylor night. I don't know if you've ever been to one, but it's like where
but I want to.
Yeah, they're amazing. And that song came on and just like screaming that in a room full of people, it changed me forever.
Cathartic. Yeah. That's got chemistry in it. It's going to affect your brain.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And just like the lore of that one too, of like there's no should-haves in it because they're all in Dear John. Like that just, when someone said that, I was like, arrest her.
Yeah, her mind, literally.
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that song just, that's it for me.
My favorite song is Treacherous.
So good. How'd you feel about the Treacherous Alchemy combo?
Hated it. I was like, I wasn't. I think that was the night I was in a wedding, so I couldn't watch the live stream. And just going onto Twitter later that night, and I was like, she sang Treacherous, and then seeing that she sang it with the Alchemy, I was like, no freaking way. Of course she did.
You can't have nice. This is why we can't have nice things.
Like quite literally. But honestly, like the Alchemy being a skip for me aside, I think it was a really great mashup. I think like those two make sense together.
It did.
She does it so well.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, it gives Treacherous like almost a whole new meaning, or it gives the Alchemy a whole new meaning, I guess, too.
Yeah.
But I also do think we need to talk about the mashup of I Think He Knows I'm Gorgeous, because I was obsessed with that.
Yeah. I honestly think all of the mashups, like I hope her next album is mashups.
Oh my god, yeah.
I would love
or her next tour is just mashups.
Yeah.
I was expecting the Eras tour to be mashups, and it's crazy that it's not.
That's what she said. I don't know if y'all were like following her comments on, you probably were, on TikTok before the Eras tour actually happened. And there was like one that like was a mashup of two songs, and someone was like, this is what I think the Eras tour is. And she said like, not no, or like kind of, or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, it's just going to be her mashing up everything from the Eras. And it's not. And I was like,
really what I expected, because she, and every tour previously, she had done a mashup of sorts, like of some sort. That's just truly what I was expecting. And then
not even a mashup within the Eras. Which, well, okay, there's like two.
Yeah, but like for the most part, there's really not.
So interesting.
It's crazy.
She put that together.
I just
love them.
I love it. I'm excited that she is off her like can only play this song one time.
I know. She was like, why did I make rules?
Yeah. I'm just gonna do what I want anyway.
I follow my own rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow, guys, we've been talking for almost 2 hours.
Like literally like 10 minutes ago, I looked up at the time and I was like, oh my God, how long are their podcast episodes?
I know.
Have I been talking too long?
This might be the longest one. That is
really
okay.
Oh my God. Okay, good.
Oh, how long are your podcast episodes usually?
We like keep our like Patreon episodes at like an hour 30, and we try to keep the Gilmore To Say like an hour, but like we talk. We have to stop ourselves. Those girlies can talk. Sometimes we have to be the producers of the hosts and be like, you guys cut it out.
When you put the yappers in the room, they just
I know.
We start yapping. Yeah,
Serena, give us one topic and we're just gonna talk forever, and it's almost like okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you asked me a question like an hour and a half ago, and like and ever since then, that's just where we're at.
I know, that's what makes it so hard. It's like I just want to talk to everyone about everything. Like when we have the same interest, I just want to know all of your opinions on like every song she's ever put out, and that's just really hard to.
Yeah, because like I wanted to go through like every single album, every single song, rank them all, figure out where they are, but like we'd be here for quite some time.
Well, we just have to have you back on again.
Yeah. But I do have a question for y'all that maybe we can end on, because your podcast is called The Girls Who Live in Delusion, which I don't know where Delusion is, but I would like to move there. But what is the most delusional opinion or thought you have as a Swiftie, or like thought
I have
about
mine right off
her?
the bat.
Oh, okay,
That
great.
I'm gonna be her wedding photographer. That's my delusion. That's where I live.
That is a great delusion.
Yeah. I talk about it all the time. I tell everyone I'm gonna be her wedding photographer because
what is people's responses to that?
Usually if they're my friend, they get it because they know I'm crazy. If they're not, they just kind of look at me like, you do realize that that's like never gonna happen, right? But I'm like,
yeah.
Her photographer that shot the last like 5 album covers, she found on Pinterest. So
Yeah.
Are you on Pinterest?
No.
Well,
but
Serena, get on Pinterest now.
Come on.
What are we doing? We're wasting time.
I make so much money on Pinterest. It's where the engagement is.
All right,
Pinterest.
Well, I need to get on it, okay? My best friend yells at me for this once a day. He's like, you need to get on Pinterest. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. How else is she going to find you for her wedding?
I know.
Travis Kelce that we're not invited to.
We're not invited. You guys aren't invited, but I'm taking the pictures. Don't worry. Actually, I shouldn't say that because then she won't work with me. I would never show anyone anything, Taylor. I promise.
Yeah.
Wink.
We heard it here right now. She's listening.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I try to be so realistic. I don't know. Oh my god. Do you have a delusion?
Yeah, that I'll meet her and be her friend.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. My biggest delusion, I think, is that I would write a book that's adapted into a movie, and in the same way the Summer I Turned Pretty got an entire Taylor Swift like Taylor's version released with it. That's really what my delusion would be.
Yeah.
That's a great delusion.
And I just like live in the land of like, if we met, she would love me and be like, no, you have to be my friend.
Well, like, how many dreams have we all had where like we meet her and then we're like, hey, great, awesome,
perfect, we're just friends.
Yeah. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, I have to get over this now. I have to grieve the loss of my friend.
And Taylor to me has always felt like, I've loved a lot of celebrities like growing up and things. Taylor has always felt the most untouchable to me for some reason. Like
a distant Diamond Sky.
Yeah. Like I used to be such a Miley Cyrus girl, and I used to like vividly truly believe that like one day I was going to meet her. I was going to meet her multiple times. Like this was just going to be such a thing in my life. But like with Taylor, it was always like, she's too, I don't know what it is. I could never picture myself, like, even when she joined TikTok and I was very active on TikTok and I was like making art inspired by Taylor Swift.
Did she ever like any of your TikToks?
No, but that's the thing too. I could never visualize her actually doing it. I'm like, she will comment and like everyone else's TikToks, but I'm just not in the same universe as her. Like that's not even like something I can foresee happening in the future.
Yeah, which is like a mild mental breakdown when she liked mine. Just like I was like, like there was something about it that I just was like, I don't, and now I like don't associate with it because it's like she didn't actually see it. She like that's not real. There's a wall between us. She breached it.
She did not perceive me.
Yeah, exactly. But I also feel like I don't know. It's not that I consider her someone like a parasocial friend of mine, but I also don't consider her a celebrity. It's more of like, because I'm so entrenched in her feelings that it's more of like I see her as like a feelings hub, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That it's like she's like this person who my feelings are articulated through. So it's kind of like she's a little bit removed as like a person, which is like that good or is that bad? I can't tell.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my therapist.
Yeah, that's a good question for a therapist. Not 3 girls living in delusion.
Well, I skipped my session today to come to this. So this is therapy today.
You shouldn't have done that.
I'm okay. I'm well. Okay. I'm on Lexapro. I'm fine.
Thank God.
Oh gosh.
Someday I'll have a good delusional dream. I would like to think, I would love to work. My dream is to like work in the music industry to some capacity and design stuff for artists. I don't think I would ever work for her, but I would like to think that maybe one day she would see something that I made and just see it.
I need to put that on March.
Can I have a delusion for you?
She did see something you made. She saw the cookies.
Okay. Sort of.
Yeah.
Someone there's a really talented cookie designer in Nashville, and she made cookies for Taylor all 3 nights that she played there, And in one of her sets of cookies, she made a bunch of like fan made designs into cookies, and she put my flower design on the cookies. So, I mean, she didn't really say it, but who even knows if she saw the cookies, you know?
Right.
But still.
She totally did. I also knew that story because like I feel like such a stalker every time you say something. I'm like, I was there. I remember that.
I know.
I knew that.
I know it. Don't worry.
No, I
You
feel
can
the same way
tell
about
the
all my
listeners. but like I know.
It's like, I'm gonna go to the place in my mind while you recap. I already know all this.
That's so funny.
No, I'm here. I remember. I've got it. Can I tell you I have a delusion for you?
Yes,
Is that you would
please.
design her merch? Because like, it's not always the best.
No, I agree. I would like to believe that, but I don't know.
That's why it's a delusion.
I just doubt that. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
There's no
Dream
doubt
big,
in a delusion. So I feel like what's happening here is you don't actually live in delusion. You're a little too realistic.
You're right. We should change the name of this.
The girl who lives in delusion with the realistic girl.
I came up with the name too.
We have to like entrench you into some more delusion, Emily.
Yeah.
No, I just try not to hurt my own feelings.
That's fair. That's healthy. See, we're trying to
Yeah.
ruin you, actually.
So maybe
We love
we're
you.
the ones that
We're
are crazy.
ruining your life.
Precisely.
I love it. This was so fun.
Oh my god,
I
it
know.
was.
Yeah, I could literally talk about this for
Gosh,
years,
I know.
ages.
This is gonna be such a fun episode, though. Oh
It
my
is. I'm
gosh.
so excited.
Is there anything you want to leave the Swifties with? One
Oh my
last
gosh.
final thought, message, feeling.
I actually forgot all words actually at that. I don't know. Like now that I'm sitting here thinking it through, I've never been anywhere fun as this podcast.
Oh my god,
I
that's
love
so
it.
cute.
I love it.
I would love
That's
to
really
see
all I
it.
could think about. That was cheesy, but like, you know, I had so much fun. Y'all are so
Thank
great.
you.
Like I've been wanting to talk about Taylor Swift this in depth, like I don't even feel like we got that unhinged. You know, it felt like pretty tame. But this was unhinged enough. Making my little Taylor
Absolutely.
Swift shine for y'all. But like that's
Deserves
all I
that.
want to do on my podcast is like talk about Taylor Swift as it relates to Gilmore Girls all the time. So this was like a nice cathartic outlet to like release it and then like hold it back in a little bit and then I'll come back on to release the crazy again.
Amazing. Good. We love to see it.
Can you tell the girls where to find you on the internet?
Sure, you can find me in a lot of different places. I'm on TikTok, but I don't post as much anymore on there. I'm Gilmore Girly Girl. On Instagram, I'm Haley A. McIntosh, which is where I also am on YouTube. I did full reaction videos to TTPD. I don't know why I did the acronym for both of them. The second one I did days after the first one because I couldn't process words anymore.
We needed like weeks between our two analysis.
Yeah. I couldn't even listen. I didn't even listen to it for days. Like Friday and Sunday I did.
No, it took me a week, like over a week.
Yeah. And if you want to listen to my podcast, which is exclusively about Gilmore Girls, you can find us at Gilmore To Say Podcast on Instagram or just search Gilmore To Say wherever you would listen to a podcast and there will be.
It'll be there.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. Everyone go follow her.
Yes. She's such a ray of sunshine on the internet.
Thank you so much, Haley.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. We are going to get out of here.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, we will.
Thanks for listening. If you made it this far.
See you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.